Welcome to another Albummin' It with your boy Jacob Wayne, and
Hey.
joining me once again is Kellen Gibbons. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, doing good.
Nice. Today we are going to be discussing Red Hot Chili Peppers' new album, Unlimited Love. For those
Woo.
that are not aware of who this band is, which would surprise me, but it happens. They're an American rock band formed in Los Angeles in 1983, and they've had many turnovers with different musicians in the band, different guitar players. I think this guitar player on this album, John Frusciante, has quit twice.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm misremembering that, but either way, he has quit and then come back. And this is his big comeback album with them. They released two albums before this one with another guitar player, and they did the albums I'm With You and The Getaway. That
Mm.
those albums, were fairly solid, but we're not here to talk about those ones. We're here to talk about the new one, Unlimited Love, which I suppose, or from what I hear, is a double album, but on Spotify, it's just a
Uh,
long album.
yep. Very long.
And so, with that, we'll just throw it to you and ask you, what did you think of Unlimited Love, Kellen?
Well, I'll admit I have not been on the Red Hot Chili Peppers train. Like I haven't been keeping up with their stuff since I got all excited when Stadium Arcadium came out, and it was
Yeah.
such a steaming pile that I haven't been that interested in them since.
What
So,
excited you about that?
well, I was just into them back then. That was the
Hmm,
album that came out when I was like, in high school, and was all like, oh
sure.
yeah, Chili Peppers putting out a new one. So I was all stoked, and then I was like, hey, I don't really like it that much.
Yeah.
Mainly the singer was just getting started to get annoying, which he kind of kept doing on this album. Has
Yeah.
continued to do. But I did dig the guitar and the bass for sure. The drums are always like, he's got some cool beats. The drummer does have some interesting things. It is just holding it down,
Hmm.
rocking it down. But yeah, he has some cool way of doing it.
Yeah. He
So
definitely hits it with some power.
yeah,
And I don't know. Do you feel like you've noticed any kind of improvements or changes in the music?
I
Or is it
actually
pretty much just straightforward Red Hot Chili Peppers for you?
it feels just like the the B tracks of their early work, just like the whole album. Like there's no song that's all like, oh yeah, that's the single, that's the one.
Hmm.
The very first song on the album reminded me the most of the old stuff. I did like the Black Summer. That one,
Yeah.
I like that one quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, kind of, the riffs are cool, the guitar sounds great, but there's nothing like none of those like riffs that are just like, oh man, that's cool. The Under the Bridge or those kind of riffs that people want to go learn.
Sure. I will say that this took a couple listens for me to like enjoy it. I found that the guitar and bass really started to stand out a little bit more after I listened to it a couple times.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more subtle. It isn't anything that hits you immediately, but you just kind of understand the kind of the inner workings of the little thing they're doing a little more once you get used to it.
Uh-huh.
A lot of little subtle touches on the guitar, like it'll just be like a tonal thing, but it'll just be like like just at
Yeah.
a right moment, and it like clicks with whatever Flea and Chad the drummer are doing. And so that's a thing that's like grown over time, and I've been like, oh, okay. I
Yeah, he
really like
has
Flea's work on this. It seems like he's become more controlled.
yeah, I noticed that kind of stuff with him. He was doing some cool like putting a little like varying the amount of like grit on the each slapped note a little more, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of where it felt like in the old days, it was just kind of like just
Yeah.
going for it.
It's kind of that punk funk thing going on.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think the two standouts for me so far, because it is a long album and it's not, something I stick with. Like there's a certain part where I start to fall off a little,
Hmm.
and it's kind of hard to remember exactly when. So, and that happens to me a fair amount with some albums. They just don't you know, they wear out their welcome, and I'm ready to
Yeah.
listen to something else. And I think it's around Bastards of Light, which is track 11, that I start to kind of fade out of this album.
Yep.
Um, has 17 tracks. But the
It's a
two
lot.
standout tracks, like I was gonna say, was Here Ever After and Aquatic Mouse Dance.
Yeah.
And pretty much the first 5 songs are like they could have released that with maybe just a couple more songs, and that would have been a solid album.
Indeed.
But yeah, the bass line on Aquatic Mouth Dance is like boop. It's like got a
It's like
really
kind of
good
like a
groove.
salsa
Yeah.
funk. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
And I know he went to some music school or lessons or something like that. Uh I think it was after Stadium Arcadium.
Oh.
And so I think he did learn a little more things like that. There's a really good interview with him on WTF with Mark Maron, where he's talking about how he's really been trying to learn how to improv better because he's always been able to hold down the like pretty well. But
Uh-huh.
and just some of his background with bass playing in general, I think that must have been a lot of what he was getting into as different like Latin rhythms and bass lines and things like that, because I remember that standing out a little bit on the last couple albums.
Uh-huh.
So that being said, that's where my focus is a lot on this album is the guitar and the bass.
Yeah.
And along with that, how the drums weave with it. Anthony Kiedis, is there anything that sounded like good to you from what he did?
He like I said, the first album he was more singing. The ones where he's like more rapping, I really do not like. We're like,
It's because
yeah,
it's like, yeah,
yeah, and it's like stop that.
stop
Yeah.
doing that.
And then the one song, like I just said right before we started, I feel like he's pretty much really closely ripping off that one older tune. I don't remember
Say it again one more time.
the love me, say that you
Yeah,
love
that's
me.
Love
Yeah,
Fool by the Cardigans.
yeah, yeah,
And that's She's a Lover.
yeah. Very, very similar. He just like skips one beat,
I didn't
but it's
notice
basically the
that, but I'm
same
gonna have
melody
to go back and listen to it for that. But
on the chorus. Yep.
there's some stuff he does on the album that's fairly serviceable. Like it's like on Not the One, Black Summer. It's like, okay. But I mean, some of the he just always has these lyrical things he goes back to.
Oh yeah,
Where
there
he's
was
like,
one
and
in Not the One.
China's on the dark side of the
Yeah,
moon. I'm
yeah,
like,
that
what do you mean?
that one had one too where he was like, I will always care for you. I like knew he was gonna say it the line before. It's like he's gonna say I'm always gonna care for you on the next line or something like that. And I
Yeah.
was totally right. Like it just came right out.
I'm riding on a censorship. It's like, uh,
Yeah.
I was like, come on, girl, you do the dishes. That's the chorus I hate the most. I can't remember the exact lyrics, but it's just like, come on now, do the dishes.
Oh
I'm
God.
like, God damn it. Like, and that's the thing. I'm into quirky lyrics or like weird, twisted word metaphors that I don't know exactly what that means, but it's how the words sound together. But yeah, I don't know. It's the Fred Durst problem.
Yep.
The band's doing a lot of interesting, fun stuff, and then the singer just continuously, like almost astoundingly, finds a way to bring it down into their world. And it's like not they should be the least interesting thing happening in this
Yeah.
band, unless they're just awesome, which they're not. And I think if you really like question them, Anthony Kiedis and Fred Durst, it's like you're not the guy in this band.
Yeah.
Like you're servicing the music as best you can, and I can appreciate that because you can't always have like your Janis Joplins or whatever. But
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's like Gorillaz. Nothing amazing about that singer or even his lyrics, but it fits and it works.
Yeah.
And I don't really know like what is the thing that Anthony Kiedis and Fred Durst too, because they really are very similar to me in their own way. Like, what could they do that's like, no, you're still you, but just maybe shut the fuck up on this part and just let it be the instruments.
Yeah, that just
I don't
needs to
know.
happen more.
Yeah, because it seems like over the top of everything is like it's just
Yeah.
uh-huh. All right. I
Yep.
don't know. Is that all we got to say on this one?
I think if the lyrics were better, they could get away with it. But it's just like you don't need to talk all the time, especially if you're saying stupid shit.
Well,
So
all
I
right.
think that is the answer.
So he Under the Bridge is a great song. I mean, yeah, we've all heard it a shit ton, so maybe you're sick of it, but if you just look at it, it's a great song. Um some of those songs from Californication, like before he had totally worn out his
Mhm.
use of saying California in a song.
Yeah.
Like, what is the one on there? I'm trying to think of Take Me to the Other Side.
Yeah.
That's a really good song. The
Yeah.
video's cool. I like what he does and like want to sing
Yeah.
along with it. I don't know.
And it's simple. And they're all like it's like how long? How long? Just like not he's not throwing out a bunch of too many words because then
And not
when he has
revving
too
up his
many
little tiny
words.
mini little mouth engine.
Yeah.
uh,
Yep.
all right. So if you like Red Hot Chili Peppers and you don't mind the singer, I'd say this is a really good album.
Yeah.
Um, if you can't get past singers like that, then you're not gonna like it because it's not way different from other Chili Peppers.
Oh,
So, do you recommend the album? What do you give it?
let's see. I would say it's about a jalapeno. I wouldn't say it's a full-on Scotch bonnet or anything like that, but it is a pretty hot chili pepper, but it is green. It ain't red.
All right, so it's a little bit of a
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
like it's just
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine. Like it
If
wasn't
you're
worth
into
a
it, you'll be
slap.
into it. Yep.
Didn't deserve that. It was just a mundane bad dad joke. I'll sneak over to a you know not a
Yes.
just
Just
all right. Good bass
gotcha.
playing.
Indeed.
All right. And yeah, I like Flea more after that interview and John Frusciante, however you say his last name. He did an interview with Rick Rubin on his podcast.
Oh.
Both were very interesting and insightful. And I think an important thing to remember with Red Hot Chili Peppers is they're all former like dope heads.
Yeah.
And just the fact that they've found their way out of that and like maintained somewhat of a music career through all of it, it's pretty impressive.
Indeed.
So good for them on that.
Indeed.
All right. So that's it for our review of Unlimited Love by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. We'll see you on the next
Check it
album
out.
in it.
Later.
Ta-ta!